Yes, sir, back we are. Rush Limbaugh executing assigned host duties flawlessly. Zero mistakes. Here is the number on the percentage of U.S. Muslims who say suicide bombing, violence against civilian targets, often or sometimes justified, 8%. That's from the Pew survey. The report here from Cybercast News Service. Survey data released by the Pew Research Center in 2013, admittedly 2 years ago, shows that 8% of U.S. Muslims believe that the use of suicide bombing and other forms of violence against civilian targets is either often or sometimes justified in defense of Islam. That's 8% of U.S. Muslims. Now, bear in mind that Pew is a very, very left-leaning organization. They favor open borders. They favor high levels of Muslim and Syrian refugee immigration. So, I mean, if they're saying 8%, it could well be higher. Now, let's put that 8% in reality. We're in the process here of rapidly immigrating, 1 million Syrian refugees. Obama wants 10,000 a month, 100,000 a year, combined with the Islamic population already here and the ones that Obama wants to bring in. Let's just, for every 1 million Muslims in the United States, if the Pew survey is right, that means 80,000 people in the country, 80,000 Muslims, if the 8% number is right, 80,000 per million think terrorism is, or suicide bombing, other forms of violence against civilian targets is either often or sometimes justified in defense of Islam. Now, you might be saying, well, defense of Islam, I mean, Rush, that's, well, no. Defense of Islam could be any target that is not Islamic. Any target where there are infidels could be considered in defense of Islam. If it were 1%, we'd be talking about 18,000 people who think terrorism is often justified. 8% of U.S. adult Muslims think terrorism is often or sometimes justified. But then we have people say Trump's a lunatic for this moratorium. Trump's a lunatic, and anybody who supports Trump is a racist or a bigot. But if you run the numbers here, and then you add it to everything else that's happening, and we don't have to make up events. We don't have to say theoretically what could happen if this and that happens. It's already happened. We already had San Bernardino. We've had Fort Hood. We've had any number since 9/11. Domestic terror incidents. Now we've got the L.A. school district being shut down today. By the way, quick question on that. Does anybody else think it's strange that a potential legitimate Islamic threat would call a school board member? These people do not do it that way. They do the deed and then either claim credit or try to get away, get caught and claim credit, or a history of them is researched and we find out that they've been planning it for a long time. But there's something, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether this is legit or a hoax. How do you not shut down the L.A. school district every day now? I mean, if it's your job to take these threats credibly, responsibly, assign credibility to them, that's not a job I don't think I would want. Not a job I think I would want, correctly stated.